Peter is an ordinary fisherman on the Sea of Galilee, until one day, a man named Jesus calls him to leave everything and follow him, promising him a completely different life. Without hesitating too much, Peter leaves his nets on the shore and begins following Jesus, becoming one of his closest disciples. One night, while the disciples sail in a small boat, a sudden storm shakes them in the middle of the lake, causing panic among everyone aboard. In the middle of the storm, the disciples see a figure walking on the water toward them. Terrified, they think it is a ghost, until they recognize Jesus' voice. Peter, filled with sudden faith, asks permission to also walk on the water. Jesus invites him, and for a moment, Peter actually manages to stand on top of the waves. But noticing the wind and the waves, fear takes hold of Peter, and he immediately begins to sink. He cries out for help, and Jesus holds him up before he sinks completely. Later, Jesus asks his disciples who they believe he really is. Peter answers without hesitation that he is the Son of the living God, a declaration that surprises everyone present. During the Last Supper, Jesus warns Peter that he will deny him 3 times that very night. Peter, indignant, insists he would never do such a thing, not knowing what will actually happen. That very night, exactly as warned, Peter denies knowing Jesus 3 times before different people, letting fear take over at the worst possible moment. Hearing the rooster crow, Peter immediately remembers Jesus' words. He walks away alone, broken by the guilt and pain of having failed exactly when he was needed most. After Jesus' death, Peter is sunk in a mix of grief and shame, not knowing how to continue after having 3 times denied the one he loved most. Not knowing what else to do, Peter returns to the only thing he knew before following Jesus: fishing. He spends an entire night on the lake catching absolutely nothing. At dawn, a figure on the shore tells them where to cast their nets. When they obey and the catch is abundant, Peter immediately recognizes it is Jesus himself, risen. Without waiting for the boat to reach the shore, Peter jumps into the water and swims directly toward Jesus, desperate to be near him once more. On the shore, Jesus asks Peter 3 times if he loves him, exactly the same number of times he denied him. With each answer, something in Peter is completely restored. After Jesus' ascension, Peter and the other disciples remain gathered in Jerusalem, waiting for something Jesus promised them before leaving, not knowing exactly when or how it will come. Suddenly, a sound like a strong wind fills the entire room, and something resembling flames of fire descends upon each person present. Filled with a boldness he had never shown before, Peter goes out into the streets of Jerusalem and preaches before a huge crowd, completely different from the man who denied knowing Jesus weeks earlier. Thousands of people who hear Peter that day decide to believe and join the new community of faith, marking the birth of something that will spread far beyond Jerusalem. Peter's story reminds us that the most painful failure does not have to be the end of our story. The one who once denied out of fear can, with time and the right grace, become the boldest voice to proclaim the truth.